Top of the morning to you people. Right. Let's get these Dark Angels done. About time been hanging out on my desk for probably a little bit too long now. If I'll need to find my brush. Where is my brush? What have I done? Where's it gone? Trusty old Windsor and Newton. This is what we need. Let's have a look at the statistics as well. Can't be a good old test stream. Right. Shanty Bone, let's get these hoods sorted out. It's been far too long. Let's crank up the music a little bit, I think. There we go. Let me know if it's too loud on the stream. Do feel free to say hello in the chat. Hit me up. Have a natter with me. Any interaction is always appreciated, guys. Stipple a few highlights on these herds, and I think call it a day then, just get the weathering done, to be honest. A couple of small details to do on the what are they called? Oh, the pouches and things. Yeah, the pouches and things, because I totally forgot to do those. Might need a lighter brown, perhaps. Let's pick up a lighter brown. There we go, good old leather brown from Vallejo. One of the best brands in the game. So I think I'm going to stream for maybe an hour today, guys. See how it goes, and then do this a couple of times a week. If there's anything you're wondering, want to ask, please do. I like to have a good chin mug. Love to talk hobby. I'm not much of a gamer, more of a painter and hobbyist, but I do like the lore. If you've seen any of my videos, you will know that I am all about the Dark Angels, so... And no, before anybody says it, they're not traitors. They're absolutely 100% loyal. And I won't have anything said otherwise. Just make sure the chat's working. I'm tempted to put something. Shall we put something up on Instagram. See if we can get some more people in here, just make sure everything's working, and then we can get a regular schedule sorted out. Let's have a go. Morning guys, hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I'm live streaming over on no, I'm not. I'm not live streaming on Instagram. Morning guys, hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I'm having a quick test stream over on YouTube at the moment, so pop over, say hello, get involved in the chat, and let's hang out and hobby for a little bit. See you there. Cool. Right. Let's actually crack some progress out on this. What are you guys working on? Can see a couple of you there in the chat, in the stream views. So do let me know what you're working on. I would love to know. Keep checking back into the chat periodically. Maybe I need to put my microphone somewhere else. Just let's get this down a little bit more. Maybe move the cameras around a little bit. Like I say, I am still very much learning how to do this. This is my first live stream, so do bear with me. Things can only get better, right? You can swap around the camera. Let's see if that does do anything. How's that? Is that better? Worse? Let me know. Maybe good to do this with some of you guys. Maybe get some people in here and involved as well. That would be fantastic, in fact. Nothing like hobbying with other people. That's one down. Should mix it up and go with the Dreadnought. I am not happy with this. I sculpted this on myself. Yeah, it wasn't one of my better bits of hobbying, wasn't that? But oh well, you live and you learn, don't you? So what's the worst that could happen? I have to do another one. Damn, I have to buy another Dreadnought. Oh well. You can never have too many Dreadnoughts. Something my dad used to say. My dad's never played Warhammer in his life. How's the stream volume music going? Is it too loud? Not loud enough? Let me know. Got a fair bit to get off my painting desk at the moment. I've got a couple of projects on, and a piece for a competition that needs to be finished for next week. I'm sure it'll all come together though. Got some interesting Dark Angel stuff coming up. I love working on my Dark Angels. Got a fair wodge of them. I picked up the AdMech Codex yesterday as well. Looking forward to having a look at that maybe later on. Have a bit of a barbecue perhaps. And just get out in the garden and have a read of it. Wicked. Maybe build a small AdMech kill team at some point in the future. I don't actually know much about the AdMech, if I'm honest. I think as far as races go, the problem if I wasn't loving Space Marines so much, I think perhaps it's probably the faction that I'm most likely to go with collecting in a serious kind of way. Such flavour with them as well, isn't there? I mean, there's so much you can do with them. They look kind of cool. We've got all those robes, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me with robes. I've got a thing about robes. I don't know. Who's this? Sending me messages while I'm streaming. That's very rude, isn't it? Messaging me when they could be watching me on stream. Huh. So have you got any plans for the weekend? Any hobby plans for the weekend, more importantly? That's the main thing, isn't it? I'm not going to get any gaming in, I don't think. I'm going to play on Tuesday night. Not sure what I'm playing. Maybe some Last Night on Earth. Potentially some Kill Team. Don't know, with the guy that I do the hobby podcast with, Drop Pod. So that will be fun. Now that the world's kind of getting back to some semblance of normality, hopefully I can start gaming on the regular again. Some awesome buddies. That will be fantastic. I very much have missed rolling dice and moving little plastic men around. To be honest, I thought I'd got a lot more miniatures painted during lockdown, but it turns out that is not the case. What's this we've got over in the chat there? Love the bold head view. It's, if I slant it to the side, a metallic as well. Thank you very much, Graham, there. I'm not sure about loincloths on Dreadnoughts. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but now I'm actually painting it. Maybe it's because my sculpt's atrocious, and that's what I need to work on. I've not been sculpting long. I just did that. If you've checked my video out from a couple of weeks ago, I made a Nurgle mini from scratch. And yeah, I definitely need to rearrange this other camera, don't I? It's not getting anywhere near. It needs to go way higher, so we're about there. Okay, let's lift it up a little bit. What about that? Just where I'm naturally holding things. That's a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Try and get everything on. Oh, these autofocus on these cameras. I've got too many cameras set up for this. But it does the trick. Yes, unfortunately I can't look straight ahead while I'm painting, so you are going to have to enjoy the studio lights reflecting off my my shiny bald bonds there. But you know, what can I do? It's one of those things, isn't it? You know, we all go bald. I chose to go bald. You know what to say about bald men. We're much better war gamers. So yeah, we were talking about the Bad Batch earlier. I preferred Clone Wars, to be fair, but you're much more of a Star Wars fan than myself, so I don't know, to be honest. I did like what I've seen so far of it, but I don't know if it's something that I would continue watching longer term. But we'll see. We'll see. I think it's the animation style, or well, just the art style in general, I'm not overly fond of, personally. I mean, it's totally subjective, isn't it? But yeah, it's not for me, I don't think. I did enjoy Mandalorian, which I honestly did not think I was going to enjoy. Which, yeah, really surprised me. And my wife, she also enjoyed it. I think that was because of Grogu, though, more than being a closet Star Wars fan. And that was a clever marketing ploy on Lucas, or whoever it is that owns that now. Is it Disney? Disney owns Star Wars, don't they? Yeah. Gonna need a little bit more white paint upon here. Back to another wet palette on Kickstarter the other day. The Everlasting Palette 2.0. So that will appear at some point later in the year, which will be a nice surprise because I'll have totally forgotten about it by then. So one thing I've learned recently, and it's something that I've not learned it recently, but it's something that I've allowed myself to start doing when I'm painting, is not going in straight lines for every single thing and using micro textures. I think that's the thing that's evolved most over my painting style over the past couple of years, is definitely trying to rely less on the sculpt of the mini and introduce more interest with micro textures. So like you can be able to see, hopefully, on one of the cameras, that I'm just doing horizontal strokes across the material, and it kind of gives it that more organic look to it being an actual fabric rather than just being sculpted detail in place that's like standard Citadel, edge highlighted, shaded, that kind of thing. And I think it really adds something to it. I like it. It breaks up that kind of like that flat, super smooth edge highlight kind of thing that I've got going on. Certainly inside of my painting style, so. And you know what? It's more interesting to do. I find it way more fun to paint. And it's almost like danger painting in some respects as well, because you just get in there. You get in there and you get it done. So at the end of the day, we want to play some games at some point, don't we? So, you know, you can't paint everything to competition level. That's something that I've really kind of struggled with. And part of the reason I've started off doing this channel was to encourage me to paint more and try and paint faster, rather than spending absolutely way too long on every single minute. You know, you can't always paint to your highest standard for everything. It's impossible to do if you want to collect and build something. And I want to build an entire, well, it's a company, but it's a big company. I'm probably going to end up with a chapter size force of Dark Angels at this point, I think. Because I just can't stop buying them or building them and converting them. There's just so much scope in the lore, and that's why I love this hobby so much. There's nothing more interesting than working on something that you really enjoy, is there? You know, it's therapeutic, and it's also, I don't know, there's something when I see a collection of things that I've worked on in situ, I feel immensely proud, and there's just something rewarding about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love playing video games, and something I'd like to do more of. Maybe it's as I've got older, I've had less time for video games, but there's something tangible with having painted minis done, and you know, it's always nice to give them to people Hey Jacob, thanks for joining the stream. So I'm working on my Dark Angels at the moment. I'm just working on the robes, getting the final highlights on things like this robe up here, and I'm going to switch back to doing the hooded heads on my intercessor now. So let's swap cameras and you can see a little bit closer there. So once it focuses in, yeah. So all I've got there is some Ashanti bone, and then I shaded it with some Seraphim Sepia. And then I'm going to layer back up with a little bit of Vallejo bone mixed with a little bit of Skull White and try and get them finished off today, hopefully. It'd be really good to have them done. The bases are already pre-done. Get them weathered and get them with the other lads, and I can move on to some more interesting stuff. I don't know. What I'm working on next, that's going to be the interesting question, and you'll have to watch next week's video to find out. So, new videos posted every Saturday, and somebody that I have a lot of respect and is quite well known in the hobby has chosen my next project. So yeah, keep an eye on that. But for today, we're back with the intercessors. Again, we're just talking about micro textures in the hobby and how I paint, sorry. And letting yourself be a little bit freer with your painting style rather than trying to get like super crispy edge highlights on every single thing. Because I think that was holding me back. I just couldn't get the effects that I wanted, you know. Well, what about you? What are you working on this weekend, Jacob? You're going to see a lot of brush licking on the channel, I'm afraid, guys. I am 100% a licker. Such a natural way to paint is always painting downwards, but sometimes you got to think about where the highlights are coming, aren't you? And like moving your brush upwards and then lifting off, just letting that bit of paint work in your favour for the highlights really, really works. Saves you a little bit of time. Not a great deal, not a huge deal, but every little helps when you're working on batch painting, doesn't it? Hey, somebody else joined the stream. Hey Shaz, how are you going? Hope you're having a fine weekend. Working on some hobby stuff yourself, whatever that may be. Mini painting, wargaming, who knows? Maybe building stuff. I didn't expect anybody to join this stream, and like got a couple of people in here now. That's good. So I've just started. Probably going to go for another 50 minutes or so till 11 o'clock. So do feel free to interact. I will do my best to keep up with the chat. Not that it's flowing particularly fast, but hopefully I'll swap over to my chat screen just to make sure that's working. Let me know how the audio is working out as well. Is the music too loud? Is it not loud enough? I've got this fancy mixing thing going on that I'm not 100% certain about. So like I say, this is my first time doing something that's vaguely well produced. Maybe it is well produced, I don't know. Why don't you guys let me know? Is this the kind of thing that you enjoy? Is this the kind of hobby streaming that you want to see? I must keep checking back on this camera. I'm finding where I naturally sit. Let me know up in the chat if things go out of focus and I need to swap to the other camera. Ooh, what brushes would I suggest? Well, my current go-to at the moment is the old Winsor & Newton Series 7. I use a size 3 for most things. Size does matter. And going too small, I find just, you know, the bellies don't hold enough paint. So I do like these, but also I have a couple of sets of let me swap to the other camera. The Artis Opus series, so I've got Series S and Series D. The Series M I've tried, wasn't overly into, but I do love these brushes. The Series S is a nice selection of sizes, and I tend to use these when I'm painting something a little bit more seriously, so competition stuff. But the Series D dry brushes, oh my days! My wife picked them up for me for Christmas, and they are absolutely amazing. With the old extra XL dry brush, now for what just popped up there with some text. It's my lower third. That goes to show I'm not a professional streamer, doesn't it? Yeah, the series D is absolutely stunning for scenery. It just lets you bang through it, so I'd highly recommend those, and they're quite reasonably priced as well, to be honest. So yeah, that's where my money is at the moment on brushes, and some Winsor & Newton, if you can. I'm interested to try the new Citadel brushes. The STC ones, apparently they're really good and don't hook, and synthetic, which who would have thought? Ah, good comment there. Bringing the tone down, Graham. Thank you. This is a family stream. Keep it clean. You're a comedy genius. So, do you guys work in sub-assemblies when you're painting? So, I've still got most of these in several bits. I've got a video coming up in a couple of weeks talking about how I make sub-assemblies for Space Marines. Already had some comments asking me, because this week's video that went up yesterday was all about how to prepare a mini for painting into sub-assemblies using an AdMech mini. And straight away, I was asked by people, so how do you do it for Space Marines? And I'm like, that's a really good point, maybe I should have done that first. Silly me, knowing that Space Marines are so popular, to go with something that wasn't. But to be fair, I did think let's just moisten the old wet palette a little bit. I did think that AdMech would do pretty well with the release of the Codex being, you know, only a week or so old. So saying earlier that I picked up the AdMech Codex yesterday while I was out with my wife and father-in-law. Maybe this afternoon I will be picking it up. Getting another message here. No. So, just noticed that I totally forgot that I have not done anything with the golds on here, so maybe I won't get as much done as I thought I was going to get done. So, back to brushes. What brushes are you guys using? Any suggestions on ones? I've heard a lot of good things about Broken Toad. I know a couple of hobbyists up on YouTube that I enjoy quite a lot. I think Josh over at Pickle Jar, one of the Chillin' Wargamers, uses the Broken Toad brushes and says a lot of good things about them, so I'm inclined to agree. If he's picking them up, he seems like quite a respectable chap that knows his stuff. Maybe I need to give them a go. Any suggestions? Have you guys tried them? That's another one done. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to speed up my painting process a little bit, I think, guys. I'm just a naturally slow painter. got a friend and he just absolutely smashes through minis. He's done a shed load of Ultramarines recently. Now he's moved over to Drakari, I think, as his main army. And that guy is an absolute demon. I mean, he is just a beast with a brush. Just constantly painting. Unfortunately, I don't have that level of ability to be able to smash through stuff at that sort of rate, at that quality that he does. I mean, I would love to, but... And I do get mocked for being a bit of a hobby butterfly because I'm working on multiple things at the time, but that's something that I've actively tried to work on. Because I was spending so much time just working on one thing. Like I said, it's not ideal. I want to be able to get more done. It's just don't want that metallic running into my flesh tone there on my wet palette. It's very rude of it. Wasn't invited over. One thing I have to say about these better brushes, since I'd moved to the Winsor & Newton, so I was using Citadel brushes pretty much all the time, is that there's a lot more bounce. So when you're doing things like this and you're putting a little bit of texture on, the brush gives, and you can kind of feel it, like the rebounds for it almost. It's very, very nice, and it's just not an effect that I can get as well with Citadel brushes. I mean, I'm sure you can. I'm not saying that you can only do it with a specific type of brush. That's absolutely not the case. But my personal experience has been using these brushes has really helped. Certainly paint faster because I'm painting much bigger. I used to always paint with either a Citadel medium layer or a Citadel small layer were my go-to brushes. Whereas now I'm pretty much always just, unless I'm going in for something like eyes or teeth or something, I'm almost 100% of the time using this size 3. I know Guy over at Midwinter Minis, he uses like really big brushes, doesn't he? He gets some amazing results though as well for the speed that he uses, that he paints, and the style that he uses. And it's same with Brent over at Goobertown Hobbies. I mean, he gets some amazing results for the speed, and it's just like, how do you guys do it? Is it? Have you sold your souls? Which Chaos God do I have to sell my soul to be able to paint that fast and get consistently good videos out? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments which Chaos God that is, because yeah, I got some tides to pay, I think. May try some alfresco painting this afternoon. I think I'm gonna have a barbecue. Get outside. That some text thing is not working at all. My lower thirds game is weak, guys. Tell you what, I know why. I do know why. Let's turn that off. I must level up my stream game, but then again, this is my first time, so I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm going to try and get in on a Sunday morning, get a couple of hours in, and see how it pans out. Maybe a couple of evenings a week, depending on what projects I'm working on. If that be something that's interesting to you guys, let me know. Let me know. I don't want to be sat here alone. I want to hang out and a bit, interact with you guys. So another one done. Yes. Sick. Give the old brush a quick clean. I've got out of the habit 'cause I've not painted regularly for a couple of months now. Been out of the game a little while again. Life took over, so. Masters brush soap. Is it Masters that I'm using? Yeah, the Masters. Oh, love this stuff, and it smells. Yeah. Yeah, it's got like this lemony fresh, zesty smell to it. Mmm, yeah. It's crispy. Love it. Right. Get some more done. Gotta constantly keep those paints nice and thin. Big fan of thin paints. Duncan would be proud. Must check out his new video actually. Not checked it out for a while. Keeps popping up in my feed, and I don't know. Guess your tastes change, eh? I wonder what Space Marines would have on a barbecue. I wonder if you have barbecues in the 41st millennium. Probably not, because as we all know, there is only war. And it doesn't say anything about barbecues. Maybe check the Codex. STC for a barbecue. Who knows? If you do, let me know. Hit me up in the chat. Tell me what a Space Marine would be barbecuing. I would absolutely love to know your fan theories here. Let's get some lore crafting going on, perhaps. Any Dark Angel people watching the stream, let me know your opinions of hoods over helmets or hoods over bare heads. I'm not a bare head kind of person. I don't think it's particular. I mean, none of it's realistic, but in my head, for my head canon, for my particular non-codex compliant Dark Angels, them not wearing their helmets would be odd because of all the advantages there are to wearing the helmets. So, to keep that monkish aesthetic, I like to have the hoods and the robes over the top of the power armor. And it seems to be a bit of a mixed bag from people. What do you guys think? Helmets or no helmets? Think about in this squad there's only one chap that's not got his helmet on. But he does have his helmet attached to his armor. So that's alright. But I prefer it to be on his head. Getting a bit faster at these now. Getting a bit of bright white in just at the front of the hood to bring the eye in to the head. And I think I'm going to mix things up a little bit as well. What I've done with the eyes on these Space Marines. So I've painted them in the elms with red and a bit of orange, but yellow. Just get that nice highlights going on. But I don't think I'm going to make them as glowy as I did with the previous ones. On the Reavers that I painted, they were quite glowy. And I don't know. I just don't think I've got a need for that for my actual just line infantry. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I will. I don't know. It's something I can come back and do later. I suppose if I absolutely need to. Just think, because there's going to be so many of these guys anyway. Such a small detail is kind of, it's a high time input and low return on investment when you see them lined up for a bit of a ruckus. So maybe I'll keep it for the more elite troop choices to do something like that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Like I say, it's always useful to get some more input, some more opinion from people. We're halfway through these now. And then I will perhaps get on to doing a little bit of the leather work. And not to forget those little golden details. I'm not a massive fan of the gold. I don't know if I might have to change that up in the recipe. Let's see how it goes. Taken quite a liking to the flesh tearers as well. Chap over on Instagram whose artwork I particularly enjoy looking at. Paints them in such an interesting manner. He does like this line work on the armour, so it looks almost like muscles and tendons. Let's get this over here a little bit. And it really suits the aesthetic of the flesh tearers. Also, he does a really nice dark burgundy red, and with the black, it just looks stunning. Really into it. Would love to paint one up myself. May do that at some point. I have got a box of intercessors that's kind of earmarked for just painting up in my own style for some popular chapters that I'll obviously never have a force of, but you know, it'd be quite a nice kill team, like the like a almost like Deathwatch, I guess. It's just made up of Marines from different chapters, just as a way for me to kind of get to paint them. Just for the giddies. Why not? Dare I say why not? It's your hobby, you can do exactly what you want, and I'm gonna. I'm not gonna get caught up in the whole, oh my days, you must have painted it this colour or that colour. I think that's pretty toxic. Do whatever you want, don't you? Rule of cool. Rule of cool, guys. If you enjoy it, who cares? And there's nothing to say that you can't have your chapter of choice. Who's to say Ultramarines are blue? In your universe, they might be bright pink, and that is absolutely fine. So long as you enjoy it, you do you. I would strongly encourage you to do that. There's nothing worse than your hobby becoming a chore. And you need to avoid that. It's supposed to be a downtime, isn't it? You want to be chilling out, having fun, painting some badass minis, maybe hanging out with some friends, coming up with fantastic stories and rolling some dice. That, my friends, is what the Hobbit is about for me. And Space Marines. It's always going to be about Space Marines. So the sun's shining here. And I'm hidden away from the world. Up in my man cave. Painting my little plastic men. Or women. They've got hoods on. Who's to say? I don't care whether they're men or women. They're still badass. It makes no difference to me. I mean, lore-wise, yeah. Whatevs. It is what it is. I don't care though. It's quite somber music, isn't it? Should we get past this one? This is quite somber one as well. Huh. So, music for streaming, guys. Anything that's a little bit more metal-y and upbeat, do let me know. I would love to get some high energy painting tunes going on in here. You know what? I'd like to get some of the people in here that I really enjoy from Instagram. Maybe just to come along and chat and paint, hang out on Hobbit and get some advice, talk to them about stuff. Kind of like we do on the podcast. That'd be great, actually. I don't know how viable that is. I don't know about getting another person in on the stream. Is that something you can even do? I'll have to look into it. I'll add it to the never-ending to learn list. Why didn't you live stream, they said? It'll be fun, they said. All you need is your webcam and stuff. It's true. It's true. So much to learn, though. So much to learn. But I absolutely love learning. If you're not learning, you might as well be dead. Get to carry on learning, painting, sticking your backpacks on. What were the Games Workshop releases this weekend? I didn't actually see anything new. I haven't seen any press releases are out. I'm sure there'll be something. Must definitely check that out later. Make sure there's nothing that I've missed that I should be getting excited about. I know we've got a couple of new codex announces, haven't we? Was it Thousand Suns and something else? What was it? Thousand Suns was definitely one of them. We know the Orc Codex is coming. That's exciting. I am excited about the Orc Codex. I will probably pick that up. Do kind of want to get that battle box, but or whatever it's going to be called. I'm not sure I can afford that at the moment. Life is getting expensive now. And I've already got a lot of minis to paint. Do I need any more? Of course I need some more, but I'm not sure I would get away with that. Oh, I need to find out what the new Codex announcements was. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick gander. One of them was definitely Thousand Suns. If anybody's still in the chat, please do let me know what they are. Accept all. Grey Knights, that's what it was. Fantastic. Yes, so I will definitely be picking up the Grey Knights Codex because I really like the Grey Knights, and some of my Dark Angels, I'm going to have like a Grey Knight like wing to it. So the way that I'm building my kill team is I'm going to base it off of the Hexagrammaton, but rather than having the original 6 wings of the Dark Angels, I've gone my own kind of way. So I'm going to have Deathwing, going to have Raven Wing, going to have, obviously, I'm painting Green Wing. And then I'm going to have Dreadwing, which is going to be a specialist wing just full of Dreadnoughts. So it was originally the Dreadwing there, if you know much about the Dark Angels past. When they were a Legion, they did have that Legion. They also had the Iron Wing, the Fire Wing, maybe, and the Storm Wing. So I'm going to have the Storm Wing, who I'm going to have as kind of shock assault troops. So that's going to be my heavy, not my heavy intercessors, my assault intercessors are going to be the Storm Wing. Maybe with some Reavers in there. And then I'm also going to have the Resurrection Wing, which are going to be Demon Hunters. So how I'm going to fit that in lorically, well, you'll have to subscribe to my channel and check out my videos, won't you? Because I'm not going to tell you here. I know, I'm such a tease. What can you do, though? I suppose I could tell you. I don't think there's many people in here. I think there's a couple of people in here, 2 of you. So I could say, but will I say? I don't know. I don't know. Does anybody else make up their own canon for their chapter? Anybody else name every single Marine in their army? Or not even just Marines. Maybe you're an Imperial Guard player, or maybe you're a Drakari player, or a Necron player. Guessing you're not going to name each one of your things in your dynasty. Let's swap the camera angle a little bit, let's mix it up a little bit, and then I can move around a little bit more without worrying about getting out of focus. I guess you're not going to name every one of your Necron warriors. That would be insane. I don't suppose you could really name, like, you could do whatever you want, you could do if you liked, but I don't suppose you'd name like Necron or Tyranid. Perhaps you would not do it with Orc either, I don't know. Would you? Would you name your Orcs? I mean, I suppose Orcs are sentient, aren't they, I suppose? I mean, it's not to stop you from doing it. There's nothing to say that your Necron aren't all sentient and all of your Tyranids aren't all sentient. Again, it's your hobby. You do you. I'd love to know. It's this kind of thing in the hobby that really, really does interest me. As well as the painting. It's almost like talking to myself, is this, for the past hour or so. Monologuing. I know how my wife feels now when I talk at her. She's definitely not a hobbyist. I mean, she likes certain things, but yeah, I chew her ear off for considerable amounts of time talking about Space Marines. And she very kindly puts up with it. And she's much better at it than when she's telling me stuff and I'm just like, I don't care. I'm not interested in whatever this thing is. And I should be, I suppose. Hobby widow. I think that's what she is. Sometimes. Not all the time though. We're getting there, we're almost at the end. I've got a little bit of detail to paint on one of the hoods. Still not wholly decided on what colour I'm going to do the detail. I'm edging towards red to kind of tie it in with the bits of trim, the Aquila, that kind of thing. Don't want to introduce too many colours into the palette, and it's something that can carry across on the various wings. But I don't know. How do you guys come up with colour palettes? I spend quite a lot of time drawing colour schemes together myself. I don't like to go into a project without having at least some understanding of what colours I'm going to use. I didn't actually get a red paint out. So we are going to have to do that. Let me get this last two hoods done, and then we'll grab the red. I don't know. Maybe we'll run the stream a little bit longer. I don't know. What do you think? Still a couple of people here, I think. Who knows? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I need to get something to rest my elbows on. This music's definitely picked up a little bit as well, so that's good. I'm definitely excited to barbecue later. What's not exciting about barbecuing? It's a good question. I don't know. Nothing. Nothing is not exciting about barbecue. I have to admit, I do like a shanty bone. It's quite good coverage for the colour. So I'm thinking on an upcoming stream I'm going to be painting some of the minis that I got from Spellcrow. So we've got some fantasy stuff on there as well. Got some Nurgle, Nurgle-like, not Nurgle branded, but kind of like Plaguey minis, and we've got some like rock flies. I'm really excited to get those painted. And also we've got a couple of demon princes and an owl bear. And who doesn't love owl bears, right? I've never painted one before. I'm so excited to give it a go. Yeah, that's exciting. Maybe going to get those started off on stream next week. Going to get the couple of projects that I've got out of the way, and I definitely need to make good on my promise to do a power blade without an airbrush tutorial. I've been asked like a lot of times now to do that, and I did promise that I would do it, so I think it's only respectful that the people that have interacted with me and asked me to do that, I try and give something back there. So I will do that. It's not something that I do myself. Like I say, I use airbrush. If you've seen my videos, you'll know that it's all about the airbrush for me, doing that kind of thing. But I have done it in the past by hand, and I'm more than happy to do so again. Right, so here we go. This is the dude. This is it's using the head from. Let's see if we can get in a little bit closer with that. Using the head from. Where's the camera gone? I don't know where I'm showing. Yeah, so I think this is it Lazarus? No, it's not Lazarus, it's the other one. Zachariah's head. And we do have some detailing on this guy as well. Just around the front of it. So that's definitely gonna get painted. Should we say red? Should we decide on red and go red? I think we are. Nobody's talking, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with red. Once I've got the highlights and stuff, this is the actual last one now. And then we'll get the leather done, I think. Not sure if I'll stay on stream and do it. Hey, Proxmare, how you doing, man? Good to see you, dude. Thanks for popping along. How's life treating you? Hopefully you're going to get some hobbying in this weekend. Just finishing up some Dark Angels here. Because what else would I be painting? So many Dark Angels, so little time. So really good of you to pop along to my little stream and say hello. It's always appreciated that somebody comes along that I know. Especially somebody that it will definitely not get any learning out of this stream, because you're already an awesome painter, my friend. Building some bases for Cursed City, eh? Hey man, I checked out the GW merch store yesterday looking for I was looking for some Dark Angels prints to go in the background, and that amazing AdMech cover print. Unfortunately, they're a little bit too expensive for me to be spending money on at the moment, so I won't be having any Space Marine prints or any AdMech prints in my background. However, what I did notice was on the merch store they still had some Cursed City stuff, so that was interesting. They had some Cursed City t-shirts and a Cursed City poster, which I thought, very interesting. But yeah, only a small bit of interest. What's this? Ah, thanks, man. Yes, I did indeed pick up the AdMech Codex. That's probably why I can't afford any posters or anything. Now, yeah, I haven't read it yet. I'm going to be sitting outside in the sun later today, perhaps enjoying a cider or two, and reading it. I'm really looking forward to it, to finding out a little bit more about the AdMech. That will be good. They are awesome, awesome characters. And as much as I love Dark Angels, Belisarius Call, since I read the book or listened to the audiobook, should I say, is my favourite 40k character. I absolutely adore the guy. I think he's up there with, is it Telemendon from the Emperor's Children? I think he's an awesome character as well. Oh, really? The one with Dark Angels on the cover? I do have it, but I only read the Dark Angel stuff. What did this article say? I can go back and read the magazine. It is still on my desk, the other side of me at the moment. Oh, my other desk, in fact. Yeah, the book's great, dude. The great work, the Belisarius Call one. It's absolutely stunning. It really gave more context to the universe for me, and definitely gave me an appreciation for the character. I listened to the audiobook version, and I have to say, the voice acting in it was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. It's been my favourite 40k book by a significant margin. Like, really, really, really good. I mean, it's obviously, that's subjective, but for me, I enjoyed it. And I think from books that we've recommended to each other before, maybe we have a little bit of different taste. Because I'm not enjoying those Night Lord books, man. Flesh and Steel. Yes, the Warhammer Crime stuff. I'm interested in this. I am genuinely interested. I don't think that particular one is on my radar, but I am more than happy to take more recommendations from you, my friend. It's like, you never know unless you try something, do you? And, you know, I will definitely try stuff. That dreadnought you painted, dude, was absolutely stunning. You should, you guys in the watching the stream, definitely hit up Instagram and check out Paints and Giggles. I think it's Paints _and _giggles. This chap is an amazing artist. He's one of my biggest influence. I just can't get enough of his work. His Dark Angels are beyond reproach. They're next level, guys. Check him out. He absolutely deserves it. Show brother some love. It's all about community supporting each other, and yeah, do it, man. And while you're up there, definitely check out anybody else. You know, follow some hashtags. If we've not got thousands of followers, that doesn't matter. They might be doing some absolutely epic stuff, and be absolutely sure to check them out and recommend people to your friends. You know, it's all good, and be nice. You know, hitting the like button's fantastic, but leave people a comment. Let them know how good they are. They appreciate it, you know. You might just bring a smile to somebody that day, just through a couple of seconds writing something nice. You know, it all comes back to you at the end of the day. So yeah, do that as a favour for me, guys. That'd be great. Right, I think we're getting to the end of this now. Just need to do that red trim on this hood. Yeah, I agree with you, man. There's some small accounts that I absolutely love up on Instagram. And some of the output of some of the smaller accounts, like how they've not got many thousands of followers, is beyond me, because they do some stunning work. But you know, it's all about the algorithm, isn't it? And if you post a lot and you're not particularly... Sorry, that was totally out of shot. Let me swap back. That's the thing, isn't it? All appeasing the algorithm. Right, that's the hoods all done. Let's now. I've still got a bit of white on the palette. Still got a bit of white on there. Let's grab some red. Let's grab some Reichel and Flesh Shade. Won't be a second, guys. Okay. Brief interlude of dead air then. I should have maybe put it onto the pause screen. Thanks, dude. I'm not entirely sure my voice is soothing. But, the dulcet Yorkshire tones there, maybe. Right, let's get a bit of red on the palette. Tiny amount, don't need loads for this. Can mix up his highlight as we go. I think what's going on with this? Oh, that's going to need to clean. Right, so we've got some Reichel and Flesh Shade Gloss. This is a belting shade to go over metallics. I know like Gullum and Flesh is really good as well, and I do use that. However, I have to say, the gloss shades from Citadel do have a place in my collection. I know they don't get a lot of love, but for me they work really well. And the Cryptic Alloy I quite like as well. Is it Cryptic Alloy? I don't know. Oh, thanks, dude. I'll try. It's yeah, I'm enjoying how it's looking. I think it's I've got a little bit of work to do with the stream. But this is my first stream, so you know I'm not going to beat myself up about it. It's not going to be perfect the first time, and I'm only doing it for fun. So let's get this red on here. I should have really kept the head on a separate piece, perhaps. Separate sub-assembler. I mean, it isn't actually glued on at the moment, so I could, in theory, take it off. Right, so why the gloss? Right, so I use the glosses over metallics, and the gloss, like you would expect, it has lesser surface tension over the top of the metallic, so it recesses into the shades more, so you get more over the top of a normal metallic paint. It pulls itself more into the recesses, and it keeps that that natural metallic sheen to the top of it. I wouldn't use it on anything that's not metallic. I've tried, and it doesn't look good. But for metallic surfaces, like as a wash for metallics, I really like it. I think it's the fact that it just doesn't dull things down as much that I find really good. So we've got a little bit of cleanup to do here on the head. So it's only a small amount. is a tiny, tiny piece. How's the music volume? Is it too loud or is it not loud enough? Can you hear my voice over the top of it? Obviously I can't hear myself at the moment, so it'd be useful to know. You're right there, you are right there, I suppose. Or maybe that's why my stuff doesn't look as grim get dark as I want it to look, is because I don't go as dull. Maybe I should go more dull, I don't know. I struggle with saturation of paints. Great. Perfect, thank you for the feedback there. I do tend to oversaturate things. Alright, let's add a little bit of fleshed tone to that red. Get a bit of a sexy pink going on. And then we can... I said I was going to end at 11, didn't I? Well, clearly I was lying. Maybe we'll go a little bit longer. And then I will go outside and read my codex. But right now, I'm in the painting zone. I'm enjoying this. I wanna get some done. Really want to start my my competition entry. They just sat there. Maybe I'll take those outside with me and clean them up and get them base coated. Get them primed. Maybe make a video about it. Don't know. Don't know. Maybe I'll just stick to Dark Angels, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm still intrigued by the question of, do Space Marines barbecue? It's a competition at... How was my BBC? My barbecue. My barbecue yesterday was great. I will be having another barbecue today, and I will be having a barbecue tomorrow also if the weather holds out, because I love barbecue chicken after I've exercised. The competition is a Games Workshop competition at my local store, which closes next week. So you get assigned, randomly assigned, 3 colours, which it came in fact came in a small box, and if you already own the colours, you don't have to buy them, but the idea is, you know, to increase sales obviously, and you paint a miniature, any Games Workshop miniature, in the colour scheme of those 3 colours. So I picked I think, what was it, Mornfang Brown, Emperor's Children, so that's pink, and Korax White, which is a chalky white grey. And the miniatures I chose to paint are these Mayamon Banshees, because I've wanted to paint them for a while, and I had no reason because I don't play Age of Sigmar. So yeah, I'm gonna paint those up in that colour scheme and get them entered. So I think there's about 40 people entered so far. And when I went down yesterday, the manager was like, "Where's your entry? Why haven't you done yet?" So I've got till next week to have it done. But I'm excited to do that. So we'll see. I don't think I'll win, but why not? Yeah, it is a little bit like Goobertown Roulette, I suppose. But you know, it's a fun community thing to get involved in, my local store. And even though it is a Games Workshop store, I like to support Games Workshop. You know, I don't hate everything they do. I'm not totally against them, so. And it's something different, isn't it? And you know, it's a way of interacting with the community. I need to give my brushes a deep clean. Absolutely deep clean happening soon on these. Get some conditioner on there. Right, so let's get this this gloss shade on here. Go to not the best brushes for the old gloss shade. I've actually narrowed down the number of brushes I'm using, you know, while I paint. I have a considerable amount of brushes, and I've cut it down to maybe 8 or 9. Yeah, man, I'm definitely going to record it. Definitely going to record it. I've actually already kind of done a little bit of prep work on it, so I'm probably not going to record me building the models, but certainly the painting I will do. Let's see if we can get used to this other camera angle. I really need to get my stream chat in here so I can use it. I can't use this stream scene a lot. And there we are, we're back. We're back here. Do you not have a local Games Workshop store near you? That'd be good with that. It's one shaded. I have to admit, I never used to go into my local Games Workshop store. I didn't like the manager. It was quite elitist in there. But now since this chap called Xander took over a couple of years ago, it has got so much better. Like I can't tell you how much. Right. So yes, sorry, I do remember you telling me now when we've chatted before that it's near work. Not good for lunchtime impulse purchases. I remember we had this conversation. Yeah, but just think of all the money you've saved, man. Couple of little bits of white trim. Not white trim, what am I on about? A little bit of silver that I need to pick out, I've just noticed in a couple of places. That sucks. I found a store local to me. It's like 10 minutes drive away from my house. Completely found it randomly out of the blue on Google when I was searching for a very specific Vallejo paint. And it's apparently been there for years. It's called Leodis. And I went down to check it out a couple of weeks ago, so I've got that coming up in an upcoming video. And you know, they may appear on other platforms that I'm involved in at some point. Of course you order stuff online. You nerd. You guys can't keep away from it, can you? We're all addicted to the plastic crack. All addicted to it. Hey, 79 bricks. It's going good, man. It's going good. How about yourself? Just hanging out, painting some Dark Angels. Trying to get them finished. They've been on my desk a while. Avoiding going out into the real world. And that's about it. How about yourself, dude? How are you doing today? What are you working on? What's on your hobby desk? You can't beat a vortex mixer. 4E Scientific, the way forward. Heavy duty, hobby happiness. Oh wow, you got the Titanicus box art. Yeah. Yeah, I think they are pretty hard to get hold of. Oh, thanks, dude. It's I'm looking forward to showcasing my other wings. So at the start of the stream I was talking about how I'm basing my non-codex compliant, before anybody tells me this is the wrong colour scheme, Dark Angel, on the Legion organisation standard of the Hexagrammaton. So I've got 6 wings inside of my my Dark Angel's armour. So we've got obviously the green wing, which I'm painting at the moment. We've got the Death Wing, standard. Raven Wing's also going to be in there. But then I've got Storm Wing, which are going to be my my shock troops. So they're going to be primarily made up of converted assault intercessors and some Reavers. And then we've got the Dread Wing, which is in the canon lore, it was like the heavy artillery chapter company, but in this it's going to be made up entirely of dreadnoughts. And then finally, one that is not canon, completely made up of my own back, is the Resurrection Wing, and that's going to be the very specialist company of Dark Angels. Oh, not it's so my company is made up of smaller companies, very specialist elite units that are focused on finding the fallen, obviously, but the fallen that have fallen to chaos, and so, like, you know, they're possessed by demons. So a little bit like Grey Knights, but Dark Angels, and also Resurrection Wing is just a cool name to me. I love it. So yeah, I've written a little bit of lore around that. I'm really looking forward to showcasing those colour schemes. So they're all based on the similar one to what I've done here. But you know, it just adds a little bit of flavour, a little bit of character, a little bit of spice to what I've got going on there, and it excites me, makes me happy, keeps me off the street corners drinking cider. You know. Just laying down the shades on the golds, get them done, and then I'll just probably pick out a little bit of that with one of my favourite colours, Vallejo Model Air Aluminium. I love their chrome as well. It is sick. Such good coverage as well. Still not running through an airbrush. Cheers, dude. It's gonna look good. Be sure to check out my video coming next week. So it's got a full list of everything that I'll be painting over the next few months. Probably more than a few months. There's a fair few miniatures I've been collecting over the past year and a half to get this project done. but yeah, if you're interested in Space Marines, I think that'll be a video you do enjoy, and you never know who might appear in that as well. So yeah, exciting times, eh? I can't wait. I've picked up some terrain as well. I'm actually working on a little bit of a secret project. That's secret. Nobody really cares, but it's. I'm collaborating with a couple of people and a company or two on getting a big piece done and out there. So that's going to be something really, really fun. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll really give like context to the Dark Angels, like just how they look on display and such. Really excited by that, and to kind of write that setting into my lore. That's what interests me. So my Dark Angels live on a planet at the moment called New Caliban, which is a old planet that has been slowly reclaimed by nature, but has structures. It's got an indigenous humanoid contingent there, and the Dark Angels are their new protectors. And all of the story, all the narrative stories that I'm going to be playing on my Let's Plays and stuff on the channel on here all take place on New Caliban. So I'm working with a couple of guys that are into world building, doing some collaborations with them, getting the raw lore written. We've got some maps to show where everything is, all the different parts of New Caliban and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. It's, you know, it's a fun project. Something to make the hobby your own. That's what I like to do. And I've just noticed another bit of gold that I've missed out. I really do need to pay more attention. Grey and orange, nice. Yeah. That is a definitely good colour scheme right there. So is it completely custom chapter you're working on, or are you gonna? Is it gonna be a successor chapter of somebody else? Let me know, man. I'm interested. I love Space Marines. Definitely not have enough Space Marines. As Games Workshop well know from the constant amount of Space Marines we get given. Which is ace. Give us more Space Marines, but just give us other stuff as well. Give us all of the things. Take our money, Games Workshop. I'm not sure my wife would agree with that, but... thanks, Proxmare. It'll be definitely covered in more detail on the channel. So yeah, do stick around for that if that's your bag. I'm going to be talking about a lot more of my Dark Angels side of the hobby. So yeah, that should be fun if that is something that you are interested in. Yeah, I don't really play either, dude. I play Kill Team. I enjoy Kill Team. I like the skirmish side of the hobby, personally. But I think it's becoming more common that people play less and less. Or not play less, but, you know, don't play... Paint to play, should I say. See, I find it very odd that people literally just paint... Just slap paint on a model to play with the 3 colours minimum. It's like I don't understand that. Maybe I don't. But from my experience of talking to those people, they tend to be the people I know that do it anyway. All tend to be people that are competitive about the gaming, whereas the approach that I take with gaming, certainly tabletop gaming. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like to win sometimes when I play certain things, but with this, I enjoy playing a story, a narrative, and talking and creating something with the people I'm playing with. And that's the important thing for me. Right, that is all of the metallics now are shaded and done. I just need to put the highlights on with a little bit of aluminium. But before we do that, let's get some of this tiny details that are left to do. So let's not use that brush. Jump back to the Citadel small layer. So, you'd love to learn the game, but last time you tried to meet people and learn, but the environment, yeah, dude, that's the thing. Oh, mate, I'm sorry you experienced that. That sucks. That's absolutely awful. But rest assured, they're not all like that. Maybe find another hobby shop. Maybe was that a Games Workshop hobby store, or was it a air quotes friendly local game store? It's not. That's not nice. I'm the same, dude. I'm 41, and I found we were talking just I think just before you popped into the chat, saying that the guy that currently runs my games, my Warhammer store, is so much better than the previous guy. He has no tolerance for gatekeeping and that kind of thing. So they're not all the same. In its case, it's just finding one that's got a good manager, perhaps. But that really sucks. But even then, a couple of weeks ago, I went into my local Games Workshop store, and it wasn't the best environment. I ended up having a bit of a not spat, but there was a gentleman in there, not a child either, telling me that what I was buying was wrong because of some dice rolling thing and stuff. I don't know. I didn't care. I was like, it's a cool model. I want to paint it. Spinning my arm. It was a Tech Marine. It's like, that's not what you need, man. Yeah, that's. I think you do right, dude. But hopefully you'll find somewhere. Maybe you could play on Tabletop Simulator with people as a way to get into it, and then I don't know. Maybe there's an app called Meetup I've used before to find games with local people. Check it out. I think it's a global thing, so maybe that's worth a look. It sucks that you had that experience, though. I mean, that's awful. But it still is very much, I think. I mean, it's lesser than it was, and I think Games Workshop have acknowledged that and kind of tried to do something to make the community less toxic. But I'm not entirely sure they've succeeded 100% yet, if I'm honest. It's definitely not as bad as it was. So when I mean, I'm still atrocious at playing Kill Team, but what I have tried to do recently is play a game against myself, just to kind of like set the rules in my head a little bit. And it's maybe you could do that, and then you don't have to feel as intimidated if you go into a game store. I know exactly what you mean about the intimidation, though. I mean, I'm a similar age to you. Like I said, we're a year apart by the sounds of it, and I don't like it. I don't like it to go in and like feel like I'm an outsider, and just the assumption that you should know all of this stuff. And even playing with people that I know, either virtually or in real life, I find it quite stressful because for some reason I just can't retain the rule set in my head. And that's why I don't play in a store, because I almost need like hand holding through it. Unless I do something like that all of the time, I'm unable to retain that information, because I've got so much going on in my head all of the time. It's quite stressful. I'm getting there, but yeah, that's why I don't play in store, because I'm embarrassed almost. And when it's such a vicious, highly critical hobby space like this can be for some people, I don't want to expose myself to that and have more stress added to life when it should be something that I'm enjoying. But not everybody's like those people that you experienced in that game store, dude. Some of us try and be nice to the community and do something positive for it. So yeah. Yeah, you absolutely will, dude. And it takes time, I guess. I mean, I've not been back into it often. I don't play regularly right now. I don't think anybody, well, obviously none of us play regularly right now with the state of the world. But I think you're right. You'll get there eventually. And if you're enjoying the painting side of things as well, that's good. Must keep checking back on the stream. I hate painting leather. If I put some time and effort into it, I don't mind it. It's fun, but just getting like a troop done, so that there's at least something going on. It's not just like looks like a box stuck to the belt. Yeah, I know what you mean, dude. And converting as well. You said as well, didn't you? That's something that you enjoy. I think my least favourite part of the hobby is I enjoy converting stuff, but I hate putting stuff together, and I hate clipping from sprues and cleaning. I know some people find it very therapeutic, but I am 100% not one of those people. Not into it one bit at all. I find it's a means to an end for me. It's like I'd rather just power through it. But I also understand that preparation is key to getting some good results. And sometimes I do enjoy it. If it's like, say, if it's something I'm converting, or if I'm making something from scratch, I don't mind. I think I put myself under a little bit of artificial hobby pressure of my own by trying to do videos every week that are interesting and relevant to everybody, rather than just make the videos like how I started off, of being about my hobby and just the Dark Angels. I kind of got caught into a little bit of a trap of my own making. Tricksy. But now I'm kind of just being a little bit more chill, a bit more relaxed. Perhaps impending fatherhood has calmed me down and made me take stock of my priorities a little bit. Assembling is fun to me, but part of the clean. Yeah, it's. Ugh, I hate it. I hate removing mold lines. Indeed, there is a new video up. Yes, you can find that over at youtube.com/Forge of Solus. And this week, I am in fact talking about how I prepare a miniature for painting. Correct. It was one that I had been asked for doing, and it's one that I recorded a while back. Hence the lower production quality. I've now actually burnt through my stock of pre-done videos, and I'm gonna have to start redoing them in a bit of a better manner. So yeah, I don't mind doing. Actually, no, I'm lying. I don't mind doing one-off miniatures. So the one I did that in that video was this chap here. It's Admech Engines here. I'm painting up for a friend's birthday, whose birthday was last week, and I just haven't got round to it. I didn't mind doing that because it's a one-off, but building this entire box of intercessors and getting rid of all of the mold lines, and oh man, I just no. I mean, luckily it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be, but oof, I do not find it fun, interesting, or any of those words at all. I loathe it. Although I have to say, you know what, getting through these tedious details while streaming, I can see why people do this now, because it's nowhere near as bad. Chatting to people while you're doing it. It does help, so yes, thank you guys. You're helping me get through my growing backlog and get on to what I want to do, which is talking about and painting my Dark Angels. Oh, thanks, dude. I'm trying to keep a mix of videos. It's probably going to be like a little bit less introductory hobby stuff, because I think there's quite a lot of ones out there as well that do it a little bit better. But I'm going to carry on doing them now and again. But I'm going to talk about more of the techniques that I use while I'm working on the Dark Angels. So I've got one coming up. Got one up here where let's see if we get this in frame, where I talk about how I created these bases. So I've got a consistent basing scheme. I've actually already done all of the bases for the entire army. In theory, I knocked 150 odd of them out. So I'm going to talk about how I did that, and also painted those barbed bracken and other bits and pieces. So it's going to be basically stuff for new people coming into the hobby, and like how to hobby efficiently at scale, I think, is a way to look at some of the stuff that I've got coming up. So hopefully it'll be useful to you. It's dead easy to take any of the things that we talk about and kind of apply it to your own hobby. However you want to do it. doing that thing where I hold my breath as I edge highlight something then. You guys do that? It's like, oh, don't want to slip! Reminds me of Snake in Metal Gear Solid when you take the anti-trembling buff when you're sniping in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Showing my age now, aren't I? Yeah, when you're talking about the common knowledge thing, you know, I've had a conversation. One of my friends is quite new to the hobby, and he's currently learning. And I say he's new to the hobby, but he has done in the past. I think he still does do Gundam models and stuff. And some of the stuff that he talked about when we're chatting is very much related to that hobby, and it's weird how, even though they're functionally quite similar, there is such a divergence in techniques you would use. It's led to some quite heated debates. Interesting conversations, should I say, about how to do things. And what's the right way to do things. And I think the takeaway from that is there isn't a right way. It's like whatever you want to do. Like he's painted the Imperial Fist and he said, I don't understand why everybody says yellow's hard to paint. He doesn't think it is, and that's fine. Some people do think. I find red incredibly difficult to paint. But I think it's just one of those things, isn't it? There's a lot of advice, big air quotes, out there, and it needs to be seen as such, as like it's advice, it's opinion, it's conjecture. It's not the de facto way of doing something. The best way to do something is whatever way works for you, to get whatever the result is that you want to get. Be that right or wrong is academic. It's all down to personal preference. Some people like super clean looking Space Marines, don't they? You know, like the pristine, just walked out of a Space Marine showroom. That doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. Some people like super weathered Marines, and again, that doesn't work for me either. Like this really Blanchetsu style. I can appreciate it, absolutely, and I think it's stunning, and I much prefer that over the clean thing, but it's not for me. It's like, how should you paint a Space Marine? Well, however you want to paint it is how you should paint it. Same with anything. But yeah, the basic techniques, like you say, I think are a difficult one. It's like, you know, what's a good example? Another friend of mine, he got into, in fact, who that AdMech model's for. When he got into the hobby a couple of, maybe about a year back now, he was talking about painting, and he just went away and he built his AdMech up, and then started painting them, and then couldn't get quite the finish because he was struggling to get into certain parts of the mini. Whereas I tend to build and paint in sub-assemblies everything. It is very rare that I will paint an entire model, unless it's something like this little statue that's going in something that I'm working on that I may have mentioned earlier. That's all in one, and I'll paint that, obviously. But everything else, for me, it's sub-assemblies, but not everybody realises that, or how even you create a sub-assembly and get ready for painting, which I think is why maybe you found that video so useful. And I'm glad you did. I'm glad somebody got some use out of it, and that's the important thing. So long as one person got some use out of it, it was time well spent. Absolutely time well spent, and I don't regret doing it. And I really thank you for your feedback and positive comments. That's great. So thank you. We're powering through these Marines now. Yeah, so proximity says it's kind of frustrating when you have a certain image in your head and you struggle to achieve it. It is really difficult, and I mean, it's each to their own, but one thing that I find really, really useful, and I don't know why I didn't do this from the get-go. I think maybe like 79 Brick said, there's some things that you just don't realise how to do. And for me, one of the things was using reference photos. I mean, these minis that I'm painting now, these Dark Angels, are obviously, they're just rank and file. I want them to look nice, but it's not like I'm painting to my highest level of completion kind of thing. But when I am trying to go for a real high level, I use reference photos, and for me that really helps. But also it's painting bravely, I guess. Not being scared to try something different. Like I said earlier on in the stream, I've kind of started to allow myself to do different things with the brush, which sounds ridiculous. It sounds absolutely stupid. But before, everything was like strokes, and that's in my head how I would paint. It would be a stroke, or it would be like a side stroke to get a hedge highlight or something like that, and that's silly. I wouldn't have even considered stippling or buoyancing, or I didn't even know what those things were. Even if I did know, would have done them? So it'd be a little bit scary with that. What if I mess up? And that's the thing I think we all suffer from, isn't it? It's like, what if I mess up? And it's so difficult to do the simple thing of just saying, well, so what? So what if I mess up? It's a model at the end of the day. Paint over it. But I totally get it, because I've been like that, and I still am like that so much of the time. I'm like, especially if I've painted something that I wanted to paint and I've got an emotional investment in painting it, and there's a certain detail that I want to do. I don't know, maybe like try something new or make it look as good as possible, and I know I'm going to have to use a technique that I'm not 100% comfortable with. I get panicking. It's like, well, what if I mess it up? It's hard because you want to do a good job. I mean, how many of us save models for best until we're at a certain level before we attack them and paint them? We all do it. I don't think that's just part of human nature, isn't it? You want to give it your all, to do your best, especially when it's an artistic hobby. Because at the end of the day, this is a form of art. And when you're posting things on the internet for others, there's that level of judgment, there's that added pressure as well that we're putting ourselves under. We're not doing it in isolation now, are we? But we've just got to remember, it's not all bad. It can be support if you do get some good feedback, and you can start over. You can clean a mini. It's not that hard. It doesn't have to be scary to clean a mini. Maybe as well, there's something there about when you are painting, and if you do mess up, how you can quickly rectify some of those problems as they happen. You don't have to wait and come back to it. You can, take another brush. I always keep a separate brush next to me, ready to wick away some paint if I need to, and then dilute it with some water and rub it away. It's absolutely fine to do that as well. Yes, glazing was a game changer for me as well, I have to admit. It does take you to another level. one thing that I have found with the glazing as well is that I can't use it or to the level I would want to use it because of just the time investment in doing that technique. I'm still painting this chap, which is all glazed, and it's just taking forever. Because obviously, like, there's a huge amount of work that needs doing here on the glazing and getting the transitions smooth. And it's such a simple miniature, but I mean, look at this. This is all glazed, but this just needs a huge amount of work still to get it done. But it is a game changer. There's no way that would look anywhere near as good, in my opinion, using my standard painting process. It just wouldn't. But would I be able to do that on all my rank and file troops? I would love to, but unfortunately not. So dry brushing is a technique that I love. On the dreadnought that I'm also painting here on the side. This is a mixture of airbrushing and dry brushing. So all the highlights on all my vehicles. That repulsor tank, if you check my Instagram, I think it was a repulsor that I did, or an executioner, I don't know. I did a test scheme on. The majority of that was dry brushed. And the secret I found to dry brushing is you don't actually use a dry brush. There is a slight level of moisture that's required to get the best finish and for them to blend in. And also the technique I was using on how to prepare my brush for dry brushing is also a huge consideration if you're going to use dry brushing and get a nice, clean and consistent finish that's not chalky, that's not dusty. I'm not claiming to be any type of dry brushing legend at all, because I am 100% not. But the type of dry brush I used has changed, and that had a huge impact on me as well. And like I said, the preparation of the brush before I attack the miniature and the moisture level has been huge. I'm a big fan, and it was you, in fact, you started me on this one, Proximity, with your very kind gift of some Artist Opus brushes a while back, and then for Christmas, my wife very, very kindly bought me the Series D dry brushes, and that has been a whole other level. I will definitely not use, well, I don't use any other dry brushes now, and I never will. The Artist Opus dry brushes are amazing. And also I have a texture palette as well that I use for preparing my my brushes. It's only a small one. So yeah, one of these texture palettes. As you can see, it's what I've been painting Dark Angels on there. But I don't know then, man. Maybe it's practice. Wow, it's a lot of chat, so maybe I need to look up more. So what we've got there? Yeah, that's alright. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I could do a video on dry brushing. That's I've got something coming up actually, which would be an amazing use of dry brushing. So yeah, okay. That's a good shout. I will add it to my list of things to do. Videos to do. I'd love to try some non-metallic metal, to be honest, yeah. It's just, yeah. I don't think I have the... I think I need to pick up that set that you picked up. I know I was looking for it, but I can't find it locally at the moment. I know Vallejo do some sets, and I have some of the colours that are in the set, I think. However, I don't think I have them all, and I think for non-metallic metal to work, you need all of the colours, really, don't you? Like the complementary colours to each other that work inside of that range to get those particular effects. It's definitely on my to-do list. Definitely on my to-do list, and probably something that I pick up over the next, I don't know, amount of time, somewhere down the line. Somewhere down the line, perhaps. Do you know what? I think I've actually finished all of the leather almost. I think it's just this chap that's got left to do. I think didn't you pick up a set of Vallejo non-metallic metal paints, or am I thinking of somebody else? I thought it was you. So I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe I'll try and do silver with greys, because I do have a number of greys. I guess it's just allowing myself the time to experiment and to learn that technique. So I was definitely going to pick up the Vallejo ones at some point, but I just don't have a chance to do it at the moment, because I really want to. I'm trying to concentrate on just getting these Marines, like my Dark Angels, done to a point where I haven't got so many boxes of unpainted miniatures that are making me feel guilty. And a blue for the shine. Okay, okay. Maybe I will try it. Maybe I'll do a video that's not about Dark Angels or me painting Dark Angels, and about me trying to do non-metallic metals on something. I could do that. That'd be quite a good video, actually. Just a nice chilled experimenting one. Turquoise for metallic, for silver. That's a really interesting concept. I hadn't thought about that. I suppose there is turquoise in there, isn't it? For like. Okay, that is all of the metallic, the leather, I think, done and highlighted, guys. Okay, right, this is the last thing I'm going to do, and then I am going to end the stream and go outside. I'm going to get the metallics finally highlighted. Okay, yeah, I will do, dude. I am excited to try non-metallic metals. It's something I have wanted to do for a while, to be honest. Like a long while. Especially for characters. I've got a project that it's been on the cards for me for a while now to do, and it's something that I wanted to do for my mum. So when I was 15, I did a wizard mini, like a little diorama, small display piece, like above a standing on a bridge on a river, and I wanted to recreate that, but now, like at the current level I am, and obviously paint as well as I could to do that. So that would be a perfect example of non-metallic metals on the sword and such, and the like the staff, the other bits and pieces. That's interesting. I will definitely give that a go, dude. All those Cursed City bases coming in. Have you you making good progress? I hope you are. I'm also very cautious with bright highlights on my metallics. I know I've just been talking about NMM, but something about getting highlights on there that don't look overly saturated, but still have that, yes, it's definitely metallic kind of gist to it. It's kind of like trying to figure out where the wear would actually go as well, isn't it, on the mini. Oh, well done. It's good that you're getting through them. Ah, good man. I'm glad you enjoy it. I've got to admit, I've enjoyed it more than I thought. I didn't expect anybody to pop along with this being the first one. But I'm glad it did. I'm glad it's worked out. So definitely want to carry on doing them, and I'm going to carry on doing them. Hence me putting the effort into the overlays and stuff. So it's definitely going to be a regular occurrence, probably a couple of times a week. Help me get back into making sure I get my painting done. So that's what I need. Need to get those models out the door. So the last thing I've got to do on these after this is a very quick bit of airbrushing, just to get the glow from the power packs done. Yeah, that's the thing with NMM. Is that my one concern with NMM is that it looks great for display pieces from head on, but I'm not sure it works for game pieces. I know you can make it work, and I've seen one very involved technique of a chap that came up with a method of making the NMM really stand out from pretty much any angle, and it really worked. But I mean, it was an investment in time, and I'm not the fastest painter anyway, so I was like maybe. Oops. Bit of a mistake there, but oh well, swipe it away. Definitely need to figure out how to get rid of some of these lower third adverts. I don't know why it's going to the some text one. Stream noobing. Stream noobing. Have you played Curse City yet? I'd be interested to know what you think of it. How does it compare to Blackstone? I'm definitely glad I decided to come back in and do another layer of highlights with the silver. I think it really just helps just sell it all. Just bring things together a little bit. Yeah, I can imagine that is a little bit of an odd mix, to be honest. Yeah, that's not going to work really. That'd freak me out. I'd either have to go all in or not at all. Personally, with it anyway, I would. Ah, yes, of course. I thought you might have played it with your other half. But it gives you time to get those models painted, man. I didn't expect to get so much done this morning. This is definitely being productive. And that's good. So I don't feel I've been productive in my painting for a little while. So to have that feeling back is fantastic. I'm definitely going to get them all glued together. And that will help a considerable amount as well. I'm really tempted to do a very, very, very grimdark Dark Angel. I would love another box of Marines, to be honest. Ones that aren't going to fit into my army. You know, because everything I've bought recently, for a long time in fact, pretty much is to fit into this project. So I have no spare minis to kind of... Got one box that's kind of like earmarked for another project. But I think maybe a box of Death Watch or something Primaris that I've not got, that wouldn't fit into my Dark Angels army, that I could paint as just not even a specific chapter, nothing from the 40k lore, a 100% entirely new chapter just for me, just to experiment with paint styles. I would really like to do that. I think maybe that's something that I need to invest in once I've got some more of these out of the way, because that would be... Oh, I'd love that. I'd really like to do something like full on grimdark in a totally different style and make a really good video as well, I think. Oh yeah, I could do it for the Resurrection one actually, couldn't I? Yeah, because I've not actually come up with a colour scheme for Resurrection one yet. Not fully anyway. I've got a rough idea of where I want to go with it, but not entirely yet. So yeah, that could work actually. But I need to finish next week's video as well soon. I've got some bits and pieces to film, and it's kind of... I'm worried because it's not going to be not got very much painting stuff in it. It's literally going to be my hobby discussion one, so I don't think it'll get many views. My videos have bombed over the past couple of weeks, in fact, so I'm not holding out a vast amount of hope for it. Last week's video did atrociously. I hardly got any views whatsoever. But I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered at all, because it's not why I'm doing them. But yeah, Resurrection one could work for it. I just don't want to be a totally different style of painting inside of my army. That's the thing that I'm worried about doing it for that, to be honest. Because obviously they're all going to be part of the same overall project, so if I do it a completely different style, which is what I'm thinking of, I mean, like, literally not just a different paint scheme, but a different style, and I've got like an idea of what that style would be, and I've just not had a chance to experiment with it, but I would absolutely love to do that right now, just as a total break. I think I really would enjoy it, so we'll see. Games Workshop may be getting more money from me yet again. I'll have to see though, because I get most of my stuff from Alchemist Workshop, to be fair, and it's much cheaper than G-Dubs, and it's not like I need them right away. But I don't know. Or maybe I would take that as an opportunity as well to paint my current paint scheme in a different, like, painterly style as well. I mean, I know that's kind of what you just said with the Resurrection Wing, but it'd be interesting. I think I could do them a lot faster if I used another style as well. But I have touched on a little bit, but nothing that I've put out there onto Instagram or whatever, or on a YouTube video. Man, you'll definitely hear my hobby discussion next week. It's kind of like, well, it is literally like the lead into my Dark Angel series. So it's the setup for what I will be working on, in what order. Giving you guys a heads up on what it is I've got, and talking about where my resources are. Cause I've put some other bits and pieces together as well as YouTube, so like people can. Well, it's not just for people; it was primarily for me, but so people can check in on where things are in terms of progress, find out about each of the individual characters that are in it. Like I say, each one is individually named, has a story, has a life, is a living character in my universe. They will live, they will die, they will, they will partay. I don't know. Do you like Dark Angels party? I don't know. So yeah, I'm trying to make it as involved as possible, which is what really excites me about it. It's kind of taken me to the next level of hobby. That's not just about rolling dice for an arbitrary reason. But hopefully people will find it interesting. But if not, that's fine, man. So long as they find something in the hobby that interests them, that's brilliant, and all I really want for people. Only 4 more Marines to do here. And then I might just get a little bit more highlighting done on the Dreadnought with the silver, and that'll be it, I think, for today. Time to read a bit of that Codex, maybe maybe indulge in a cider. Pity you're so far away, dude. I would have very much liked to have you round for a beer and a Warhammer chat. Oh man, my voice is going now. I've been streaming for way longer than I thought I was going to, and it is taking its toll. Absolutely taking its toll on my throat. But that's good. It'll get me used to my to how the streams will probably be structured going forward longer term. I reckon they'll be about 3 hours long. And just help me get through the hobby. Chill with people. Chat, monologue. Don't know. We're talking about streaming the recording the podcast as well. So may get some of that up on the channel as well. If I can get it all working, that would be great. But lots of interesting podcasting stuff coming up. If there's anybody still in the chat that didn't know, check out droppod.info. It's a hobby podcast I co-host every second Monday. We talk about hobby, we talk about modelling, we talk about Games Workshop, we have rants, we have discussions, we have laughs. We have measurements of product in units like apples, and we talk about how viable sales are in the 41st millennium. Yeah, we're just some dudes talking, enjoying the hobby. Come along, give us a listen, have a chat, get involved in the community. Some amazing people we interview. Absolute stunning folk. Yeah, we've got his 1 year anniversary show coming out on Monday. Tomorrow. That's tomorrow, isn't it? I think it's tomorrow. If the editing's been done. If it's not been done, it may be later in the week. Haha, beer. Typical. Picked up on that one word, eh? Can't beat beer. Unless it's cider. In which case, cider is better. It's my drink of choice. Doing something totally random next week and recording a hobby podcast. Not a hobby podcast. I'm not doing anything to do with the hobby podcast. It's not next week. It's the week after. I'm recording a music video for a local rapper, which is utterly bizarre. Some of his music appeared on one of my recent videos, and I was very humbled by him allowing me to use that song because it resonated with me quite a lot. Yeah, and being able to kind of give something back to him as a bit of a project to help him out, give him a bit of exposure. It's going to be interesting. Never shot like anything like a video before, but not like an actual video with like people. Bit different to the standard YouTube stuff that I've done. So that'll be a crack. Getting into the home stretch with these guys now. Might even get them on their bases today, you know. Who knows? definitely think there's a finite amount of time you can, or I can at least, stream for without my thought process running dry. Yeah, I've been into rap music for all of my life probably. Definitely spent most of my formative years listening to rap and hip hop, like American East Coast gangster rap. But you know, I never got into the whole coast thing. I just liked what I liked, and it was, you know, mixed between like Snoop, Dre, well, the more modern stuff there. But I started off listening to like Ice-T, Das Effect, Yo-Yo and MC Light, Ultramagnetic, CDP, Tim Dog, Eric G, Rakim, that kind of thing. Some Wu-Tang. It was interesting. It's an eclectic mix. I find I like Eminem's earlier stuff. Yeah, it's all nuts. I'm really looking forward to kind of, like I say, doing it. It'll be interesting to put a video together, and it's going to be fun to do something different and get to use techniques that I want to use on my YouTube videos, but they just don't really fit in. They're more, it's got more of a cinematic scope to it. I mean, I'd like to do more B-roll stuff, but it's whether people find it interesting, isn't it? Or is it just doing it for vanity's sake? I don't think unless it's adding something to the video that it needs to be in there. I think it's murder your darlings kind of situation, isn't it? You know, just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. And I think that is a skill that needs to be developed over time. And I had some negative feedback over some of the videos where I tried to do what I found interesting stuff that added a little bit more visual flair. So the Imperial Fists diorama that I did, that for me was one of my best videos. I really liked the editing at the end of it, how it was all cut to the music correctly, that kind of thing. There was some really nice splicing going on. The camera work I thought was some of the best stuff that I'd done. I really enjoyed making that video. But some of the feedback I got for it was just have static camera shots so we can appreciate the mini done. That they found it annoying, or people found it annoying. I had more than one comment like that. Quite a lot of feedback of that ilk via Reddit. So I've kind of shied away from it since then. I did a little bit on it with the McFarlane Space Marine review. There's a little bit of interesting editing going on there, a little bit of interesting camera work to highlight it. But overall, it was just fairly static, which is, you know, it's fine. I still enjoy it, but it's nowhere near as interesting to edit together. And to be fair, Brent over at Goobertown Hobbies did comment on that video that he liked it, which was like really humbling because he's like my favourite YouTube hobby person, hobby content creator. So yeah, but I kind of I took it a little bit to heart that I got so many comments that was more just keep it simple. So we'll see. And there's definitely going to be more of my flair and way of doing stuff in the Dark Angel stuff, because that is literally for me. It's great if people are interested in it, but I'm making those videos, painting this army, doing all of this stuff For me, I'm happy to have people along for the ride, to discuss with, to talk to it all about, and that's fine, but I will be not really listening to that much of the stuff. It's like, it's the rule of cool at that point, and it's like, I want to learn, I want to progress, this is what I want to do and how I'm going to do it, so we may see a little bit more on the channel there. It all comes down to time, because doing that stuff takes more time. And that is one thing that we all don't have a lot of, I think, in the world. But hopefully it'll be more aesthetically pleasing, I'll get to do some of that stuff. So, yay. Yay. Yeah, I know you shouldn't read into comments like that, it's hard, isn't it? But wow, this stream has really gone over the original hour. Really gone over the original hour. I'm surprised I managed to keep it up, to be honest. Get some sharp highlights on this dread leg. Got to up my game after Yarrow Dreadnought, man. So it's pretty epic. Absolutely loved it. Man, this paint is so shiny. So good. Closer. I love Vallejo. I can't rate their paints highly enough. Definitely found something that I like, and I had no plan on ever leaving at the moment. It's not done. No, you're absolutely right in the comments, dude. You're absolutely right. Totally. Can't, really say out against that, to be honest with you. Like I say. It is what it is. It didn't bother me too much, to be honest. I just didn't want it to be feedback that was general and ignore it. Because obviously, you know, you should always take criticism humbly and on board, and act on said criticism and feedback. But yeah, sometimes, like I say, it's just me. Okay, dude, thank you for popping by. Have a great one. I'm going to head off shortly now anyway, and finish up the stream. So thank you very much. Have a great day, and enjoy. See you later, my friend. I'm just finishing up the highlights on this dreadnought. Get a little bit of the this bright silver in here, and then I think the next session can predominantly be on finishing off the dreadnought, to be honest. Maybe put something together about the basing, perhaps. See how that goes. If there's some interest there, I'll be more than happy to do it. Maybe we could do something on weathering, using pigments perhaps. I don't know. Let me know what would be useful for people. I'm happy to cover that. If it's something that I know how to do. If not, we can learn together. Try and be quite sparing with these highlights as well. Don't want to go overboard and detract from the main focus, which should be the green. The highlights should just really complement what's going on there. Just get a couple more highlights on the fingers just to... Maybe we'll get some blood on here, I don't know. Don't want to go too OTT with them. Last one, last bit. Yeah. This will definitely have some OSL on it soon. It's always good to lay those foundations in the first instance. If you know you're going to have the OSL on there, and layer it on top, so you get those natural bright spots anyway, and you get the highlights showing through. So my chosen colour for my plasma weapons is a orange, a really bright fluorescent orange. So what I've done is I've really dulled the reds down, so although they're in the same colour space, they're not going to be competing for your eyes' attention when the OSL goes on. Because obviously we want the OSL to look like it's emanating, coming from the plasma core of the weapon. Otherwise, the mistake that I made at first was to have it a little bit too close in terms of temperature value to the red. This was one of those trial and error situations, really. I think we got that sorted out though, so that's good. Right, I think, guys, we're almost there. Time to wrap it up. If you have stuck with me throughout the stream, I do appreciate it. We've got some good progress done on the Dark Angels, to the point where they're pretty much finished. I'm going to glue them together, get them on their bases. That's going to be fantastic. Keep an eye on my Instagram account. You'll see them coming up on there over the next few days, I would imagine. Depends on how my time goes. You know how it is. Life gets in the way. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for Dark Angels content, general hobby tutorials. We've got some ideas for some new videos coming up, haven't we? Been asked for a couple of bits and pieces. So I'll make sure to take that on board and get something that hopefully will help some people out done. Okay then, guys. With that, thanks for all the interaction, thanks for the comments, and I will catch you guys later. Have a fantastic day. And whatever it is you're choosing to do, have fun doing it. That is the only thing that you should be doing on a fine day like this. I hope wherever you are in the world, it is super, super nice. And I'll catch you later, guys. Cheers. Remember, if you're going to do crack, make sure it's plastic. See ya.